75,000 damage. Alright, so she did like 93 damage with offense down into defense up Thanos. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's a freaking wet noodle if I ever saw one. How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here, and everybody's U32 is back. They brought it back again, that is right. And as far as the defense goes, let's go ahead and go over that, because I didn't do a video. I did one with Dorky Dad where we're discussing some theory crafting options. And what I ended up going with off of that was Wapo ended up doing a video with Valley Flying, which was very interesting on how he kind of approached the Odinati team. He ended up adding Null in there, which basically shuts down part of the Mephisto counter into that. But he had his in stage 3. I ended up moving mine to stage 1, so I could end up doing something a little bit more difficult for stage 3. So we have an Odinati, Null, Odin, and 1. I ended up making Captain Britain and Black Panther Shuri both a fortifier, so they have taunts in here in case they try to come in with the Star Jammers. They'd end up having to do a ult from Havoc into one of either Captain Britain or Black Panther Shuri. Then from there, Howard would end up having to use his move into the other taunt. So it's just to throw a little bit of an RNG mix in there. I don't have any strikers in this room. I'm keeping Medusa for offense, which I'm happy about. For stage 2, I'm doing Wanda's Revenge with Agatha in here. The thought process behind this is I want to go kind of slower in here. That way my opponent starts to kind of kill themselves based off of the 15% max health damage. For stage 3, I initially had a Black Knight in here. After thinking about it, more and more people's going to start using this team in stage 3. So I wanted to have a Black Knight for offense because of this. So I'm just going to go with Liberty. I threw Thanos Endgame in here. That way he's still slow enough. He can get some exposed out there, get more ability energy out for the team, and hopefully just drag some efficiency out. That's kind of the plan. I'm banking basically on stage 1. Everything else in this U32 can kind of be one shot in here. Now, what we're going against today is Dante, and they are, let's pull them up. Where are you at, Dante? Scrolling through 32 people on here. I'd probably end up passing you. We have some pretty good people in this bracket too. It's pretty cool. All right, so Dante is 191.6 million TCP. I ended up playing against them before during season 13. They're a really good player. I got the victory on that one. We'll see if I can get it on this one. Now, as far as what they have for their defense, we have a 3-piece Annihilators. We got Null and Odin in here. So this is going to basically kind of stop any kind of APOC or Mephisto, which I'm fine with. We have a pre-taunt with Gladiator and the Fortifier on here, so that's not really going to do anything. However, they did make a mistake by making Thanos Endgame a striker along with Odin. I can just bring Medusa in here now, and that's going to take the death proofs off. So if I bring Star Jammers in, which I plan to do, I'm going to bring Medusa and drop Rocket Raccoon. They're not going to have the death proofs. They're not going to have the taunt on Gladiator, so I can shut down and take out the Odin as fast as possible. Thanos, he's going to die very quickly and probably not even get pushed off of this. So we're going to see if that kind of comes to fruition. Stage 2, we have a 3-piece Liberty. We have an old OG Emma, and we have a Super Scroll. I'm just going to Immortal X-Men that one. And then over here is going to be the rougher one where we have the Odin. We have a Black, or not Odin. We have Illuminati, Black Knight, Mephisto in here. I'm going to try and go for the one-shot in here. I'm going to bring my own Mephisto in, kind of do the empowered basic into Black Knight, hopefully get him killed in here. We'll see what happens in here. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, for stage 1, we're going to use our 4-piece Star Jammers. I'm taking Rocket Raccoon out. He doesn't give too much to the team, or just some like extra crit stuff. I'm making Groot a Fortifier, so that way he's going to be the pre-taunt. Medusa in here is going to take off the death proofs from Odin and Thanos Endgame, so that way they can be killed very quickly. So yeah, let's go in. All right, so no taunt because of Lilandra. Let's go ahead into Odin. We're gonna ult into him. He did end up surviving that. That's true. All right, let's go ahead, and this is going to do ability block primary disrupt. Let's target here. There we go. There's the Odin being killed off. Let's go ahead and special instead of ulting. It's just I have a baby Havoc. Alright, let's go ahead and special. That's going to call the assistant. We still get the safeguard. Alright, let's see what Nolan's doing with that ultimate. We got darkness, battlefield effects. Thanos. Oh, that did some pretty good damage. Alright, so now we're going to end up going into Thanos endgame. Alright, Medusa, you have offense down. I'm a 3 diamond. Oh, you survived it. This is going to hurt. Yep, that hurt. Alright, let's go ahead and special with Gladiator. Alright, ult here. This is going to end up being a cleanup. That's a shame. Alright, let's go ahead and ult. Let's see if Groot can end up killing a Thanos with 10% HP. Yeah, Thanos was Striker. I was trying to finagle it. I just want to take the Odin out first. And I accidentally pushed Thanos. So. Alright, so that's going to be a pretty easy cleanup, though. Kohori can deal with that. Alright, for Stage 3, we're going to end up doing our Black Knight, Phoenix Force, APOC, Mephisto into the Illuminati Black Knight Mephisto team. My team should be slow enough. Mephisto's still going to end up doing the Empowered Basic, I think, into Black Knight's going to be the safe call. Get the 50% down from there. And then the Illuminati's going to go pretty quick. That's going to make it to where they drop that 5,000% negative focus and 50% damage. Yeah, so let's see if this ends up working out. Alright, so let's do the Empowered. Do I want to get rid of the assist or just try to 50% health off him? I think I went to basic still. And yeah, he did not get any vulnerables from that. Okay, so there goes there. All right, let's go ahead and we'll do the basic into Black Knight. So their Black Knight's getting jacked up pretty good. My Black Knight's getting wrecked. All right, let's go ahead and special, get those negative effects off of us. All right, special here. That's going to heal, get us a taunt. All right, special from Omega Red Phoenix Force. And we got a taunt there. Let's go ahead and special, get the negative effects off of Omega Red. Turn me rewind over there. Need to make it to Mephisto's ultimate. It's kind of what I'm waiting for. All right, there goes Black Knight. Let's go ahead and special here. All right, APOC, let's go ahead and ult. Is it just me, or does it really look like the negative 5,000% focus is still staying on him? Okay, that at least flips, but I still didn't get rid of the taunt. So, yeah, Stage 3 definitely looks like something still is going on with there. But we got the one shot. That's all that matters. All right, for Stage 2, we're going to end up going in with the Immortal X-Men. This one here should be a pretty good cakewalk. I'm going to shut down the Super Skrull. Yeah, this should just walk right over it. Let's go. All right, so there goes Super Skrull doing the basic. right, let's go ahead and get a stun out there. Let's go into War Machine because he's about to take a turn. We'll do a special into Falcon for the striker shot. And target Super Scarlet's special to heal up. Bring everybody together. And let's go ahead and rewind. And Storm says bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, we're doing the cleanup for stage 1. We're just going to end up doing our Astral team. We're adding Kahori in here. Let's go ahead and make Kahori a striker to get that extra damage out there. And hopefully you can get the one shot into Thanos so we don't push him again. And then from there, this should be a pretty easy cakewalk. Let's do striker in Shadow King just for the fun of it. Let's go. Safeguard. Yeah, shoot, you're right. Okay, this is gonna suck. Love it. Okay. Yeah, I misjudged the safeguard on top of the death proofs. Yay. Alright, let's go ahead and basic here. Oof. That darkness ended up jacking me up. Alright, let's special here. And there goes my strange. Oh my god, this is gonna turn out great. Alright, let's go ahead and ult here. Alright, there's the push. Alright, can Ancient One end up doing this? Let's go ahead and special for the flips. Alright, let's go ahead and ult. Man, I almost messed that one up. I should have brought Ares in here. Okay, bad efficiency. We did end up getting the victory on this one. We got a 25,472, whereas Dante got a 25,290. So they dropped the 2 matches. We dropped 1 matchup, so we were able to get the victory. So we're 1-0 so far in the U32. Alright, so as far as the attacks go, stage 1, I end up using Star Jammers. I added Medusa in here. I think I had a shot at going for the 1-shot in here. I just did some bad targeting it as well. And Lilandra only doing about 65 damage on one of her ultimate hits is pretty sad, actually. We end up cleaning this up using Astral Kahori. I think I could have done better if I ended up using Ares in here. I forgot about the safeguard, so I ended up getting that push again, and that really threw things off in there. So we got an 83-46 on that one. For stage 2, we did the Immortal X-Men. Easy matchup in here for 85-68. For stage 3, we threw the book at him using an Apocalypse, Black Knight, Phoenix Force, and Mephisto. This was into Illuminati, Mephisto, Black Knight. We got a 85-58 on that one. As far as my defense goes, they ended up doing Star Jammers. They killed the Black Panther Shuri in stage 1. This is my Illuminati, Odin, Null matchup, which I did end up moving this over to stage 3. For the second hit, this one's very interesting. They used Old Man Logan. They used Phoenix, Omega Red Phoenix Force, the Phoenix Force team, Dorm, and Echo in here. Echo as a fortifier means that she has the taunt. They probably killed her right off the bat, is my guess. And then they ended up cleaning this up using the Night Stalkers. That was going into the Odin, Null, and Hank Pym because they did kill the Captain Britain on here. I want to watch this replay. I'm guessing they walked into the ultimate from Odin and that kind of one-shot them. This got them at 81-64. Stage 2, they end up using Immortal X-Men into my Wanda's Revenge with Agatha for 85-58. This is a pretty massive efficiency sink, I think. That didn't even get into the 60s. Stage 3, this was my Liberty Thanos endgame. They used Apocalypse. They added in Astral, 85-68 in there. So my monster room was my stage 1, which did end up holding. Let's go ahead and see what happened on that follow-up hit. I'm very curious. If I'd put money on it, Odin ulted and just kind of deleted them right off the bat. So let's see. Okay, so I have 2 charges on Odin. They're going right into Echo because she has that taunt, so everything's going to go into her. All right, there's the basics. So the battlefield effect is out. Dorm is gone. 1 life is off of Echo. Null specialed. So now we have the Carnage out there. That pushes Echo. That ends up pushing into Null. Omega Red does the special here. Odin is about to get his ult off. So there's a basic. All right, so there's 1 life off of Omega Red. Basic right there. Ult, that's going to delete them. Yeah, so they still got the kill on Captain Britain, so they were pretty lucky in that regard. Yeah, that almost took out Phoenix right there. So this is a monster team, whether it's in stage 1 or stage 3. Stage 3 right now is kind of the big issue of what's going on for people because that massive resistance. Now, as far as the defense changes I had, I end up going with a Night Stalkers, Shadow King, and Thanos endgame in 1. I'm curious what this could end up doing in here because they're going to ult pretty quick. That's going to get the pings out there. I made Thanos and Blade both a striker in here. Fortifier on Man-Thing, so that way he does have the pre-taunt. I moved Agatha. I'm keeping the Wanda's Revenge team. This is just pulling some very good efficiency, I think. And then stage 3, we have the Illuminati, Odin, Null. I'm keeping Fortifier on Captain Britain. I'm keeping Raider on Odin, mainly due to the fact that he's a G20, very high damage, and I just want to kill him as fast as possible. So that's kind of the changes I made. I'm 1-0, so let's go ahead and start round 2. Let's go.